Good morning, traders. Hope you can hear me and you can see my screen. Someone in the chat give me a hi if you can hear me. Okay, thanks a heap. So we'll wait a few minutes for everybody to get in and then we're going to start. Hi Vic, good morning. Glad you're there because I can't see anything happening on that end. I can only see the chat. So if anything goes wrong, if you stop seeing my screen for whatever reason, just give me a heads up. Okay, so very good morning. It's Monday morning. We're going to go through very quick all the charts we have, all the pairs we have here. We're going to stop at the pairs that have a trade setup and we're going to take trades. So we're here to trade. It's all about trading. So anywhere there's a trade setup, if there's any pair that has an immediate trade setup you want me to start with, put it in the chat and we will go with that. Bear in mind that there is a 15-30 seconds lag. So from the time I say something to you post the answer, there's going to be about 30 seconds. And from the time you post something to me replying to it, there's going to be a 30 seconds. Right? So keep that in mind. If you post something and I'm not replying to it immediately, now there's a 30 seconds lag. USD CAD. So somebody wants to start with USD CAD. Let's do that. Let's go with the USD CAD and see where we are. So USD CAD, this is the pattern we're looking at, right? We're in this. There's a second sideways going on here. And the way we look at patterns, by the way, if anybody is new in here, if you're an absolutely... Yep, I have some building in the background going on. The top of my head, somebody is drilling. Just the apartment above me. So if that is a big issue, I don't know, we'll have to see how we can go. I thought when I do it on Zoom, it doesn't really affect. But yes, you might be able to pick up the noise here. I hope it's not a big problem. Vic, do you hear it very loud? I'm waiting on the answer from Victor. Like I said, there's going to be about a 30 seconds or more delay on the answer. So while you're answering me to that, I'll continue. So let's look at the CAD. So what we have here in the CAD is a big sideways movement. This is literally going sideways. And the whole week and the whole last 2 weeks, we've been trading in this sideways movement. As a matter of fact, the last time I did the free webinar, we were trading in this sideways movement. So now we're in this one. What we're going to do is we're going to watch the CAD at this level. What we will be looking for this week is looking at the CAD at this level to make this up move. Right? Based on wave analysis that we use, we are figuring out that this thing at some point starts to go back up. Because we have a 1, a 2, and this should be a 3. Now, it may or may not break this low. I think we broke that low already. Now, sorry, not that low. We may or may not break this low. So I'm going to take the lines off so you can have an idea. And I'll take this low off because we broke that already. We may or may not break this one. But after that, we're going to go up. Now, you might get a sell set up here that is pretty short. We will consider if we want that as a trade. If not, we will wait for the trade to the upside. Let's go. So put it in the 1 hour now. And in terms of a trade setup, we don't have a trade setup. We're kind of going very slow to the downside here. And as you can see, this is making some kind of a smaller flat version here. Now, that pace that we came in this way might go out this way because you could put it like this and this goes out this way. It could tag this low, like I said. And if they tag the low, we'll still get the upside. So I'm not really keen on the sell right now because there isn't really a sell setup. Right? I'm not really going to try to sell this piece dropping here. It's not going to go very far. There's not much of a risk to reward in the trade. But if it is going to break to the upside, if this tries to break to the upside, we'll take that trade. Can it drop lower? Yes. Like I said, we're not trying to get this sell in the CAD. Let it drop. I don't like this setup. The last one we took was on Friday. We took this trade. That one didn't go far. So worst case is you close it here. I mean, or you got break even. That's like the worst case out of it, but it's not going anywhere. Traders might remember we looked at this as a possible running flat on Friday. Was it on Friday? Yeah. for this move to come down. We were in this trade, by the way, going up. I don't know how many traders got profit out of it, how much it took, because we were a number of trades we were trading. So this one here, I expected to go there, but if you took profit earlier, good for you. It came down, they broke the low. So now this could literally go back up. So what we can do here is, this would be a pretty safe trade. You really wouldn't have to worry much about it. Is put an entry order above the stop for the buy. That entry order is valid for a very short time, which means if this goes any lower, that entry order is off. Assuming that they're making a flat here, we can make the assumption that this is making a flat here and that this will go up. That's an assumption right now that it could go up. Now, like I said, I don't think that's the flat. I think this might be the flat and we're coming down. But in that case, well, it's just going to drop. You wouldn't be tagged in this buy, and we are not going to be interested in that sell. As a matter of fact, from where it is right now, you don't have a good risk to reward trade to go. Right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to put that entry order and we're going to wait. If this goes any lower, we take it off. So I would put this as the first trade for a buy setup. Right? This would be an aggressive buy on the 15 minutes, and a 1 hour buy. When I get a 1 hour trade, I'll put it as a green for the buy. So this is only valid if it stays where it is and it goes up. If it goes any lower, we're not interested in it. We're not interested. I'm not interested in a sell that doesn't have a far way to go. And I don't see a big potential. We were selling this. See, we sold this here when this was going down. Now, the reason you see it here was because we sold it in a news event. That's a whole different story. And we got that trade. Right? But this trade here, I'm not interested in. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we're going to make it simple. I'm going to go through all the majors. And then we're going to do anything else outside of that. So if you have the patience, we're going to go, right? So the next trade we're looking at is the dollar index. Dollar index is in a big sideways move. I'll show you the 4 hour because we'll be using this for the entire week. And we're in a sideways move here. We've got to move up. We've got to move down. And we're getting a move up. Now, we broke the low. So that means we don't necessarily have to tag the top. Now, you may have a question and say, well, what if breaking this low means we're totally going up? Well, when we come and we break this top, we'll come back to that question. First, let's get to the top. So I don't think we're doing that. I think we're making a bigger correction here for downside, right? This was your first impulse down. Most of you remember us trading that down. And I said at some point it will start to make a bigger consolidation here. And then that would mean total downside. So here's the thing. Is this the start of that bigger consolidation? If this is the start of the bigger consolidation, then right now we could either go up a little more and then drop. Or we could drop from here and then go back up. Right? Those are the two versions. And you're saying, well, hey, you just said up and down. So if you follow us for this week, you would understand why sometimes it is up and down and sometimes it's only one direction. Remember what I said in the CAD, it's one direction we're looking for a trade. We're not looking for two directions because we pretty much figure out the downside has no big risk to reward trade. In this case, you have a similar thing. You have one and you have one. This is the correction at the top of the up move that we are doing right now. This is the up move and we're at the very top of it. So my thought process is we're making something like this to go one more up. We're making something like this. Come here, go one more up. Now this would be the perfect flat if it does that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and then go up. You don't always get a perfect flat. So what we're going to do here is we're going to check to see whether we get a buy or a sell setup. I would go for a buy setup if I had an impulse and a flag and that was a perfect trade. We don't have that. We have a move up, we have a drop, we're getting a move up, we're getting a drop. That is likely going to go one more up, and this looks like a flat for one more down. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You probably get 5 here. We could still go back up for this one, still come back here, and then go. And that would be a perfect flat pattern. Right? So do we want this sell? What if I'm wrong about that? Let's go with if I'm wrong and this thing just drops through the bottom. Is there a possibility for that? Well, if you look across here, you'll see the similarity to that. Right? Well, we were here. We sold that one because we thought that one would come back to the low. This one, I can't remember if we sell it. But then anything be under that, we start selling. Right? But we knew at some point we're going to get this. which we got here, right? That makes the running flat. Now, again, this is the sharp one. So we sold here, and we can sell this. This is a consolidation at the bottom here, so we can sell that, and you might get another one and get this, and then you get a sharp move, you get a flat, you get this, and it all depends on whether we break that low or not. We will decide whether we will get this flat. If it comes here, we get that flat, we go back up there, and then we drop. See? That's called wave analysis. What you're doing is we're making forecasts based on patterns that already existed. Sorry, guys. Oh, I should warn you that if you're using an earpiece, you may want to don't put the sound too high. Put it enough to hear me, but not too high, because I have a slight flu. My children are both sick, and I seems to have it, but a very light one, so I can work, and I would definitely not do anything better than to be here with you guys. So I might accidentally cough, and I wouldn't be able to mute in time, so my apologies in advance. Right? Just bear that in mind. Let's go. What we would look for is possibly for one more drop like this, if this turns out to be the flat we think it is. So first it will have to come here, go back up, retest that top, make a flat, and then if we get a sell set up from the top here, we'll take it from the top. If not, we can take it in the break of this to do this, and then go back up. Now, can this one come here and then do that? It's possible. Now, if we get a buy setup under 15 minutes, we'll take it. So what would that look like? A sell setup here we're not going to get, because this is one sharp one and this is already almost there. I would let this go back up, and if we get a flag here, we'll buy it to retest the stop. Now, we're going to buy it with the intention that this is a break-even trade. Right, that we're not going to be making profit in that trade. If it does this and go down back, we'll have to get out for break even. So why take the trade? Well, there's a possibility that it might go much higher. Remember, there's a possibility this is a flat at the bottom here. This is a small running flat. Come here, go back, give you a flag, but then do this, and then drop. This would be the flat. This here would be the flat before it drops. So if this is a possibility, we will take the trade, with the intentions that when you break that up, we get it to break even. Right? So, like I said, this method is the only method that allows you to understand how the chart is changing and how you need to manage your trades. The reason you never heard about trade management a lot in Forex trading or stock trading or any trading, you don't hear about trade management. You heard about a stop loss, an entry, and a target. I've changed that into trade management, because the method we use allows us to manage your trade if it's not going. Right? It's like you're sitting in a trade, you're upside down for like 3 hours. You're not really losing a lot, maybe 5 pips, 10 pips. And most times, any other method you're using, you're not sure what it's going to do. So you would wait until it either gets to your target or gets to your stop. The method we use can tell you that be careful, pattern-wise, it's changing. It's not making the pattern that you forecast, right? You might forecast a regular flat, and it's making an expanding flat or a running flat or something else of that, right? As we go along, you will see I'll explain all of those, how they change. And another terminology you will hear from me, which eventually you will hear in the industry, since I'm the one who created this whole wave analysis thing, is that we have a terminology we call ever-changing pattern, which means a pattern that you forecast using what you have now could change in the next couple hours, because there's another piece that added to that pattern that changed the whole dynamic of how it's going to behave. So if you were with me when we were doing the forecast on the dollar index, you would see me said, okay, we have one and we have one. I'm expecting this to do this, go back, break this top, come back here, and then take off. That would be the initial forecast, and that will always be the initial forecast if I have only this piece and this piece. But as it develops, it did that. It came here, it came down. We sold this, we got break even. It does this. We're like, okay, well, now we have two sharp ones here. So we have got to get something like this, go back there, make a flat, come down here, go back to the top, come back here, and now go. Right? That's the changing of the pattern. Great. That was a sell setup. Worked well. It has to come and break this low. It actually broke this low. So now, with what we have, we thought, okay, 1, 2, 3, go back to the top, come down here. And now you're getting this. So that just changes the dynamic again. So what we're saying is that, okay, maybe this one does this. Come here. So this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go back up there, do this, drop there, come back here, and then continue from there, right? I could keep doing this whole day for you. The rest of the 1.5 hour, I could develop this pattern in about 50 different variations. So we're not going to be stuck in the variations. The variations is a theoretical thing of how good you are at wave analysis. I think you got the message already, right? No one else can do this better than I can do it. So I can sit here and do this the entire day for you. Now what we do is, what do you do with that knowledge? That's the knowledge you have. What do you do with it? How does it become practical trading? The knowledge is a guide for you to understand how it's changing and what you need to do with your trade. So, like I said, what we're going to do with it is we're going to say, look, this could be 1, 2, 3, go back to the top there and then drop, go back up. We need this trade, and then we will get that trade. That's the first option. The second option is that this will still remain a flat, right? This will still remain a flat. It still has to go back up first. So if it does go back up first and come down from there, or take off like this, both of those are possible. 1, 2, 3. We also need this trade. But if we're going to take that trade, we have to make sure that when we get into that trade, we don't take a loss, which means it doesn't just tag you and drop. It tags you and you have enough time and length of time, pip size, let's put it that, time and price enough to get out. So you want to get it from the bottom. You want to make sure that when it comes here and it starts to go up, we get it from here. So when it breaks this stop, we can put that to break even. Should it drop here, we will get rid of the trade and sell it. Should it go up there, we'll get rid of the trade and sell it. But this time we'll get rid of it for profit. See? Pretty simple. Not complex. Let's go. The next one. Silver. Silver. Yep. We can look for a sell setup. We're pretty much in this sideways move going up. This is the drop. This is the consolidation. I think we can all agree that's a consolidation. How far can that consolidation go? It can come back to this stop. Or it can drop at any given point on the way up. Now, since you don't know which given point is going to drop, every sell setup we get will take. Because we already have one possible flat. All you need is one possible complete correction. You need 1, 2, 3. Now, this could become 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. Or this could drop. So what we're going to do, if we get a sell setup, we're going to sell it. And I think we have a sell setup. Right now we have a sell setup forming here. It's a pretty small flag. I think we might want to give it some more time like this. And if we get this today in New York session, we are selling that. The intention is that it's going to drop through the bottom. That's the purpose of selling. And this is where the number one myth you're going to find in the market, or something you will hear in a lot of the ads you hear, is that you don't need to do forecast. You just need a set of rules, or you need this strategy. Well, you need to do forecast if you want to be a successful trader. Because before you sell it, you have to make a forecast as to where you think it's going to go. Up or down. If you think it's going to go up, you're not going to sell it, right? That means you're making a forecast. And there's only one single method out there that allows you to make forecasts: wave analysis. Every other method gives you an entry point, a stop, and a target. As an entry point, a stop, and a target. It doesn't give you anything else. Wave analysis is the only method of analysis that allows you to say, hey, this is what we think it can do in terms of forecasting where it's going to go. And not only in one move, but in 3 or 4 different moves that it's going to happen. Because we're seeing these patterns and developing. So, like I said, we will take this trade because our assumption is going to drop. But we will be aware that it might just do this, go back up, do this, and go back up. Good for us. We can trade like that. So if it drops here and it starts to go back up, we will close this trade. We might get a buy here to go back up to the top. We'll sell this, and then the rest of the week we'll be doing this. Very short-term trades. At some point, if it drops this week, you'll get an amazing trade. So we're looking for a sell setup. On the 15 minutes, I think we have a small flag forming there. Yeah, we got something forming. It's kind of a small flag. It's pretty small. So 15 minutes, you want a bigger one than that. For a move like this, you want a 1 hour flag. But if you think it's going to drop, put an entry order under the low. Where would we put a stop if we put an entry order under the low? You have to keep a stop above the top because this is a really small flag. And what that means is that they can come to the tag you here and go back up a number of times before it actually drops. So if you believe it's going to drop now, you put the entry order, but you have to be aware that this is a possibility. Now, since I don't know whether it's going to drop now or it's going to drop later, we normally put the entry order with the ability to manage it, which means we know how to manage that. Now, here is going to be the disclaimer that I'm going to give to you now. I am not making a trade call for anyone here. I am showing you how we trade in our trading room, how I trade in the trading room, and the rest of my traders who understand this method and analysis look at what I do and then make their own decisions. Now, you're here to look at what we do. And of course, if you want to make your own decisions, we can't stop you from doing that. But by no means am I making any trade call for you. I'm just showing you how I'm trading. So relax, get your coffee, get your chips, whatever you have, wherever the time. If you're in the evening, get your beer. If you're in the morning, get your coffee. If you're in the day, we'll get a juice. Get some chips and relax and enjoy the show. I would show you how we make money. So we will be looking for a sell setup on this to the downside. Where would be the target? The target will be to break this low. The idea of this trade is that it's going to come and break this low here. That's the minimum. If it comes and it stops here to go back up, well, for us that we call a positive break-even trade. That's not the target. That's a positive break-even trade. So go to the 15. I would put an entry order for a sell here. And I'll wait to see what's happening. Gold. Gold is in the sideways, has a sell setup, but gold is more with a higher probability is going to go back up to this level. And I can show you the gold pattern that we're looking at. Let's go to the 1 hour. I'm taking a lot of time on these majors now because as we start trading, we wouldn't be taking a lot of time on them. If you make it to this first session, the next sessions we'll just come and say, okay, this is the setup. We're ready for the trade. We're going with the trade. Those who missed it will have to go and watch it on YouTube so that they will be aware with what we're doing. So you're here, have some patience because you get a chance to understand the whole thing and why we're doing that, right? So this is the down move. This is the first move. This is the second move. This is the flat. This flat will eventually break down here, go back up there, and then we'll see if we get this trade. Or this thing works its way up, way back to the top here, and then we get this trade. And then we go break the top again. In some charts, this is the all-time top. In some, it's not. So we're going to work with the assumption that it is the all-time top. This is your first impulse down. And we traded the hell out of that impulse down because we figure out once you break the top, you're going to come down a lot. So we're trading inside of this now, inside of the sideways. And you will probably see most of the forecast we did in there. What we're looking for here now is that there's a small flat forming here. See that? It's going to come here. We're going to try to sell it to the top there for this trade. This would be a full trade because you'll get a sell here with a stop there. And then from this point, we're expecting it to go back up. Now, there's a very slim chance that it's going to break through. Not a big one, a very slim chance that it's going to break through. It all depends on whether you look at this as the first move up with a possible flat forming here or whether you look at this as an expanding flat. That means if you take this piece here to be an expanding flat like this, then you will have 1, 2, 3, and this is going to come deeper. Now, I don't like to do the forecast of the expanding flat, so I'm going to go with this as making still in the consolidation, coming here and going back up there. And since we're not doing a training session, but a trading session, I'm not going to do the details of why any given pattern is forming or why we look at them that way, right? If you want to learn that, you'll join the training session after we finish this 1 week free. So what we're looking for is this to come a little more, and then I'm looking for a sell setup. We'll try to get a sell setup from the top here, which means we'll wait for a 15 minutes flag to sell. Sorry, guys. Yeah, my voice might go. Let's hope we can make it to the end of the week. So this should probably go up a little more, and then we're looking for a sell setup. If you were very aggressive and you wanted to buy this to go up, you could have done that in the Asian session, but that trade is gone. Right? So I'm expecting a little more up, and then we're looking for a sell. I don't think we can put a sell there as yet. It's a little aggressive. It's a little too early. So we're looking for a sell setup. When you see I'm looking for a sell setup, you'd see me put this. The pink one is waiting for a sell setup. The light green one is waiting for, if we click on this, sorry, let me put it back. The green is a sell, the green is a buy, the red is a sell. The blue both ways, the orange is an aggressive sell, the magenta color, or what you're going to call that, is aggressive buy. This color that looks like a light green, I don't know what the hell that color is as well, depending on what you want to call it. That color is a buy setup. The light pink is a sell setup. So I wish we had a couple shades of green and a couple shades of red. So if you guys can write to TradingView and ask them to do that for us so we can change those colors, and I think that's an easy thing for them to do. We'll set up a couple shades of green and a couple shades of red for sells and buys. Euro USD. Yep, so that drop, take this out. What is this doing here? What is all of this doing here? I have no idea. Oh, that was a line that turned sideways. Why does it have so much dots on it? I'm not sure. Anyway, so let me just get rid of them because they're useless. So let's go. We're coming down. I think if you were following me, you would know what pattern we're looking for. You can already see it, right? So let me show you a pattern like that so you would understand why that is a pattern that is very, very interesting to you. Here is a good example. See that move up there, and you see this first flat that they made? That went up, pulled back, went up. There's another one here, then it went up, and there's another one here, right? So what we're doing here is we're coming into this one. FXCM is lagging. I think it could be because we're live on YouTube, you would get a 30 seconds lag. I'm not sure, but if it's FXCM itself. If it's FXCM, I'll change the charts. One of my guys, please check it. One of our traders can check it, please, and tell me if that is. So what we're looking for is it to come here and then go back up. Now, the question would always be, is this over? Can we assume that that was all you have and now it's going up? Let me put it in 4 hours so you can see. So in the 4 hours, you can ask the question, well, what if this was all and we're totally going up? Would that be a good running flat? Yeah, that'd be a good running flat. Nothing's wrong with that. But I'd like to see them come and look, very symmetrical. So I'm thinking maybe they're going to come one more down. And we're looking at this move here. And the minute we saw that, you notice I have this line at the top there. I'm thinking, well, this thing looks like it's ready to take off to the upside. So if we get any flag above that line, we will buy it. And I mean a flag above the line. Right now, this one is kind of doing this. I don't see that as a buy setup as yet until we get a flag. Can it actually still drop? It can, but that's making it less possible, because this was the impulse down, and we literally are going back up into it like this. It can still drop, but that might not go very far. So if we're going to look for a trade setup for a sell here, I don't really like the sell setup. It doesn't make a lot of sense in terms of sell. Can we get a buy setup? Well, there was a buy setup in here earlier. This is May 12th. Okay, graphic lag. Let me change from FXCM to another one. Let's change to 01 and see. Oh, yeah, we've got more here. I think so, right? Let me just see. Let me just take off that one. Sorry, then. I didn't realize that one was lagging. 01, let's put it in. Are we in the same thing? And let me see that. They don't charts look alike. Oh, no, this one is different. Let's go to the 01, the charts, and see. Oh, yeah, that's still lagging. This one is much more. Let's change this then. Let me change it to the 01, the charts, and then we'll go. So put it back in the same pattern. The bigger pattern didn't change. It's just about the smaller pattern we're looking at. So go back to 4 hours. Yep. Take this out. That's the top. These are sell setups. Take them out. Let me take out all these sell setups here. Take all of this out. This one is on the correct date. This is June 13th, June 12th. I think we've got it right one, right? All of the you're saying all the FXCM ones are lagging? That'd be a problem because I have a lot of the FXCM charts open, so I would have to change all of them. That will take us a long time, very long time. Let me go back to the 4 hour and see. Are all of them lagging? What's the time here? This is Monday, June 12th at. We're in the 1. Let me put it in the 1 hour. See what time this is. Can somebody please confirm which charts are not lagging so I don't have to spend a lot of time doing this? This is 11 a.m. This one is correct. I think this is the 11th hour. This chart is correct. Vic, can you get somebody or one of our guys check see which charts are not lagging so we don't have to. I don't have to go through every chart one by one. Alright, if all the FXM charts are lagging, then I'll just change them as we go along. So come back to this one. The same thing we were saying is whether we will think this is over, right? Whether we would look at this and assume that this at this point is over, or whether it's going to come down some more, right? So as it stands right now, we're looking at this piece and we're thinking, well, this could come one more down. This here could come one more down. If you're looking at this piece here, because you notice they had a big flat here. It dropped one more and then went up. So we may be making a big flat here that could probably come here. Maybe even go back up, drop one more here, and then go. That is a possibility. Because the same flat I showed you in the daily flats didn't change, right? The daily patterns didn't change. The same one. One up, make a flat, continue to go up. Everywhere you look, you'll see patterns like that, right? Where if we go back to the top here, you'll see very similar patterns. This is way too big. Look, this one, for example, the same one I showed you. You get a move up, you get a flat here, and then once you get that flat, it's more upside. So we'd come back here and we'd look for exactly the same thing. And now we would look for what trade do we have in there. Do we have a sell set up today? Let's go take a look. I think we could get a sell. We have a move up. We got kind of a relatively sharp move down. We got a relatively sharp move up. And we're kind of coming down back. I think we will probably get back to at least this level. And then from here, they will tell us whether we're going to go back up or whether we're going to drop through. Now, this doesn't look like all the correction because it's a little too sharp. So we would look for a sell setup here. I think we're getting a running flat, a small running flat at this stage. If we want to go for that sell, one more drop, watch this low. We don't have to break the low. So if this drop one more, it is only going to come here and then we could probably go up. So we'll have to treat this trade with a lot of caution. We can put an entry order here. Put an entry order here. We'll assume that this is a running flat. That's the assumption. That this here is a running flat. And if that is a running flat, proves us right, it's going to drop through this bottom. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3. We'll watch it at this level because they're pretty much in that range. And then this should go back up. If it breaks through, good for us. But it should go back up because this one is too small to be all the correction time-wise. So I think that's a possibility. Now, here's the thing. What if this actually still goes up? What if this piece just keeps going up? Well, we really can't buy it because there's no buy setup unless you're buying it above the top. Right? If it comes here and make a flag, we'll consider that flag up to break the top. Buying it above the top is a little dangerous. Right? Because we don't know for sure that this thing is now going to take off to the upside. It looks like a flat, so most likely we'll treat it like a flat. Which means I don't think this is going to take off like a rocket. It could take off, but I don't think it will take off because I'll be expecting it to be a flat. If it is going to take off, we need to do this, make a flag above here, and then I'm buying. Break the tops, make a flag, and then I'm buying. So right now I don't have a buy setup. I'm looking for a sell. And we will see if we get the sell setup. It's going up, no problem. This one was going up too. right? There's a lot of them. This one was dropping. See, that was dropping. There's a lot of them that look at these going up, right? And that was a running flat for the sell. We actually sold it here. So the same thing we would do. We'll put this sell here. It looks like it's going up. There's no buy setup that we have here right now. This is going to be a sell. And we can put this as an active sell. So let me show you how this trade, we'll put the trade where we think the trade should be, and then we'll put the trade where we look for. We're looking for this trade with a stop above this stop here. And we want this to drop and break the low, break this low, pretty much, right? That would be the trade. But like I said, if it doesn't break the low, but it just comes here and decide to go back up, or comes to this level here and decide to go back up, we'll try to close that trade for either a small profit or break even. But if it comes and break this low, which means if this is all and they're breaking the low, well, then that's the trade we're looking for. If you break that low, well, come back to about this level here, to about here, and then up from there. So if we get that trade, we take it. If not, we're gonna get out of that trade much earlier. Let's see if it goes. If it goes higher and don't tag you, not a problem. We're not in the trade. It's going up now, and that's exactly what we want to do when we're putting a sell entry. Sorry, let me go back. When we're putting a sell entry, we want this to be going up, not going down. Because then you have a disadvantage. If it's going to continue to go up, we wouldn't be in the trade. And like I said, I'm not looking at this as a buy setup as yet. And it doesn't matter where we're right or wrong, because we're looking at the patterns and deciding what we think each pattern is going to do. Boom. Yep, we're also, you can see from since last week, we were expecting this to break this top and then come back. It's not really coming down the way I would like it to come down, because it's, you can see they're sitting at the top there still. I want it to drop. We're getting a flat here. Yep, not the best flat, not the best down impulse. This impulse is not the 1, 2, 3. You went up, you came down. This is not sharp. This has to go down, pull back again, do the flat, then drop. And if you stay like this, that is mostly upside. So we're not going to sell it. We also don't have a buy setup. It's an incomplete pattern. I'll give it some time to go. I still think it's downside. I'll probably give it some more time. And when we do get a complete pattern, we'll go for the sell. Take these out. Big picture, this is also in this one, right? And we are expecting it to come down to this level to complete this pattern. The question is, can it go up from here? Yes, it can. And if it goes, we'll relook at the structure, right? We'll make it that impulse will become a more complex one. Right now, I think it can drop, and it can drop back all the way to the bottom here. So we'll wait for that sell setup. Aussie. Okay, we're in the FXCM. We have to change that too. Come on. Yep. What the hell is wrong with it? Yep, got it now. So put this on the 4 hour, and this is what we have on the Aussie. We broke the low. If you were tracking any of my webinars for the last month, I was showing you that pattern that needs to come and break this low, and we were also expecting that it will probably come all the way to the bottom here. So this one we got here, bring it down there, it came all the way to the bottom here, which is what we got, and we're putting it with this one as a possible running flat, right? So we were assuming that that could be a possible running flat there. This one came down from here, and this one we were expecting to come and break this low, right? Will it break the low? Well, not necessary to go and break the low, because if we look at this correctly, if we say that this is the first impulse up, let's assume for a second that this move down was all the correction, and this is the first move up. This could also be a correction for upside. Come and break this top. Now, this one didn't have a sharp one. It had a small one in here, but it didn't have a deep one like this. But sometimes they do have the deep one, right? And it's going to go back up. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come to the 1 hour, and we're going to look for trades that are taking this to the upside, because right now it's going up really sharp. And I think this pattern is over. That one is over. I don't think we have more pieces in it to go. We broke the low, we're going up. So right now, do we have a trade set up? Not as yet. We do have a possibility for some small downside. Depending on how you look at this whole thing going up, there's a chance it could make a sharp move like this, give us a running flat here, and then go. If we look at this as the expanding flat, all we need is a flag here to buy. So let's see if we have a flag to buy. Well, there was a small flag if you bought. I think that's gone. We have divergence. So if you're in this trade, you have about an hour more to get rid of it. It's not going anywhere. So what we would expect, or what I would like to happen, is I'd like this to come down here, make a flag, and give us one drop more. That would be a better trade, and then go back. If we can get this out of the way as a possible running flat, that up trade is going to be amazing. If you're buying at the top here, you probably want another deeper consolidation, not just the small flag. They already broke the small flag, they already broke the top, that is fulfilled. We got a lot of divergence. Give us a deeper correction. A deeper correction would be a good trade. So we'll wait on this one. New Zealand, you can go with the buy. You have a buy setup. You have a perfect buy setup here. And you can put an entry order above the top. So put an entry order above the top. We'll put a stop here and we'll see how high that takes us. See, this one is going back up. We broke this low. And after breaking that low, there's no reason why this thing should go anywhere but upside. That is the top. This was the sell. That was the sell. Two sells. Take that off. This is the top. We don't need it anymore. And we're looking for the upside. This one is not lagging. This is FXCM. Or is this lagging too? Let's see the one on this. Is this lagging too? Because this looks good. No, this is not lagging. So good. Sorry guys. This one is not lagging. We can use the one I have. There's a flag forming there. So we're looking for a buy setup here. This one would be a buy setup. And we'll see how far that takes us. Actually, it's a very good 1 hour buy setup. It's coming down back. You can probably put it like this. And wait for the buy setup. We might enter that if it keeps coming lower, if this piece keeps coming lower here, we might end up buying it somewhere at this point going up. So we'll come back to where that entry order should be for the upside. Right now you keep the entry order here, we keep the stop here, and well, the target is anywhere up. There's no limit to where that target can go. Right? It can come to this stop, it can break out. Well, normally in an average, if you look at the 1 hour impulse, and an average 1 hour impulse would give you something like this. So maybe something like that. That's all you get. In the case there is a news event, you might get this much, or you could get much more. I don't think we have any news event today on the New Zealand dollar, specifically, maybe on the US dollar. Let me see. Nope, no news event today. That could drive it that fast. So right now, well, sorry guys, I have to mute myself for 1 second. For those of you who just joined us, remember I do have a slight cold that might affect the way I do the webinar. So if I cough, my apologies in advance. Give me 1 second to take a sip of water. Where is the mute? I'm looking for where I should mute myself. And on the one I'm using, I don't see the mute button. Okay. Audio mute. Does that mute my audio? Nope. That doesn't mute it either. Okay, forget about it. Let's go. You guys can still hear me, right? Because I might have accidentally muted myself. Trying to figure out how to mute it. Anyway, in 30 seconds, you'll tell me if you can still hear me. Let's go. Yen. Put it in the 4 hour. And on the 4 hours, you can see it's making a flat there. This is pretty clear. So we've got a move down, slow move, slow move, slow move. We've got a sharp move. We've got this, we've got this, and we're making a flat here. So if we make a flat in here, then we will probably go here and go one more down. We'll still stay in this one before we go back up, before we come back down, and then we'll take off. We'll complete this flat by then. So go back to the 1 hour and see if we have a trade in there. We might get ourselves a trade here today. So I would let this drop first. I wouldn't be trading this as yet. Let it drop here. Let it pull back to this one. And then we will consider the buy first, because the buy is going to bring you back to the top. See this one here? We had this big flat pattern. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. If we make another flat here, we're going to come back here and then go up. So we're trading in a very, very tight range. The upside here might not make sense, but the downside would make sense because the downside goes really fast. So we'll wait for the sell setup on it. It's still in consolidation. There isn't anything much there. Swiss, it's going up, but that is giving us this one. See this here? We got 1, 2, 3. We're anticipating that move up. I don't think we will get it. It's gone. Pretty much gone. So you'll get, I hope these are also up to date in terms of their time. Let me just take a quick look at the Wanda chart just to make sure. Okay, the Wanda chart is already coming down a little. I'm not sure if that is, FXCM doesn't have that. Let's go back to FXCM and see. No, they kind of have it, right? So we'll go with it. We'll figure out what we're doing as we go. So this could go a little more up. And then we would look for a sell setup like this one. Right, we look for this sell setup, sorry. Come down to the bottom here, and then from there we'll see if they take off. So the trade we'll be looking for is a sell setup here today. The buys are gone already. We don't have any buy setup. Take this off. We're just making a bigger correction. So this one is making a bigger correction that should go up. You want this to go up a little? Come here, break this low, and then go right back up. So we'll try to get this trade, and then we'll try to get that trade. We don't have a trade set up here in the 15. There is no trade set up to sell. As you can see clearly, it's coming down, but it's not a trade setup. We would need a one second, guys. We would need a flag here to sell. So if it makes a flag here, if we come here and we get a flag, we'll look for a sell setup. As it stands, there is no flag. You didn't sell that, you didn't sell that, you're not selling this. Wait for the flag and then we'll sell. CAD, we already looked at the CAD this morning. And I'll change that also. Let's change the CAD. Add a symbol here. This one is lagging, and we're looking for we'll put the Wanda one, and we'll go with that one. Yep, let me take this off. There's a lot of things in there we'll have to change, so let's go. It's coming down, like I said, we'll take off the buy. We'll take off the buy setup that we had here because this one is already deep enough. We're not looking for that sell to come and break this low. We're not looking for this trade. We're looking for the buy setup. So the buy setup is a bigger trade. Let me just go through it for those of you who just joined us. The trade we're looking for is a trade that is going to come back to this top. Right? It's a trade to go back to the top. And there's a good reason why we think this should go back to the top. I don't think this is going to break out and go very far. Well, let's wait and see. Even if it's going to break out, I don't sell into the lows. I wait for them to break the lows, confirm they're going to continue to go, then go with that trade. So right now I'm not looking to sell into the lows. Let it make whatever the low is making, and then we look for a buy setup to the upside. So I'll put we're looking for a buy setup here. You would know what we're looking for this afternoon. Euro-Oz, I hope these are the FXCM ones that has no difference in them. Let's see if Wanda has the same thing. Pretty much the same thing. Wanda is a little more on the downside here. So we're making a channel here, guys. If we start to make a channel like this, you're looking for a move up, something like that. So as soon as they start to make that channel, we start to look for a buy setup. Let's go to the 15. Okay, we broke out of the channel, but we didn't consolidate under it. You need a consolidation here for a sell. If this becomes a sell, you need this to consolidate here. Break and consolidate, and then we'll sell. So we don't have a sell setup, but we do have a buy setup if you want. We'll have to wait for a small flag, and then we'll go with the buy setup. I think we can put an entry order for my traders. If you want to put an aggressive trade, you can put an entry order for the buy, and we'll wait to see how that goes. So I'll put this as waiting for a buy setup. And EuroCAD. Okay, EuroCAD, we got this gap here. It's actually active here, but that's not showing us anything. Let's go to the wonder charts. And let's go with this one. Is it 3-4 hours? I'm trying to see if we have anything with that sharp move. I don't think we have anything with that sharp move there. So what we're gonna wait for is, we will wait for this to start to go back up, make a flat, and then go for a sell. There might be some more downside on the 1 hour. Let's see if we have any sell on the 50 minutes. They're getting a small sell setup here, very small. It wouldn't be a big trade because in the bigger picture, you're at the bottom of this one, right? You're coming down really sharp, very close to the low. Very close to this low, so we'll have to wait. Let's get a flat. Let's get a full flat pattern and then we can go. Let this thing pull back at least once. Let it pull back at least once and then we'll go for a sell setup on this. We'll see if it breaks through that low because this is looking like a consolidation for one more up. So I'll be careful with that, right? We had a flat here. It kind of dropped, pull back. You're making a bigger flat here and then you're going to drop. So we wouldn't have all that. Okay, thanks Vic for that update. I would try to change all the FXCM charts as we go along. We'll put another one for that. We'll use the wonder charts, and if by this afternoon for the New York session they haven't changed it, we will definitely change them on our side. So this was a buy setup we were looking for that didn't happen. It actually dropped, and now we're in this one. There's a sell setup here right now. This could go one more. I wouldn't be surprised if they go one more. We can look for a sell setup here. I take this off. It will pull back still because that's a pretty sharp move up. So we can get one more sell before the upside. I think we wait for this to see how deep it goes. We're looking for a running flat in there. I'll just take this off for now. I don't want it to bias you as to how deep it can go because this would be a sell setup. Now, don't be surprised if this does not go down, but instead it actually goes up more like this. Because then we will get this running flat, and then we'll get a sell setup. Right, but can we buy it here? 1 second, guys. I really don't know where the mute is, and I need to mute myself for a second. I'm using this one. I think I might have found it muted myself. I hope I'm muted because I'm going to drink some water, and sorry if the noise is disturbing anybody. Okay, I'm back. If I was muted, I'm back. So I think I found where the mute button is eventually. Yep, I think I muted myself for a second. Let's go. Yep. I'm used to Zoom. That's the problem. So I was looking for the mute, and the Zoom and the OBS didn't show me the mute. So this is a good sell setup. We'll go with this trade and we'll see what this takes us. If this goes higher, we might not get the buy. So we're looking for a sell setup here today. Let's see. If we're going to be selling this, where would be the entry? Where would be the stop? If we're selling this, the idea is that it could come all the way to this low. So you'd put an entry here. This stop here might be too big. Let me see how much pips is the stop for that top. That is going to be like, that's a lot of pips. So let's see. Let's get a better stop. We're going to go here in the 15. And let's put it like this. And we're going to put the entry order here now. We're going to wait for this to break the top, come back, make a flag, and then sell the flag. If we get tagged with this with a sharp one, we'll put the stop above here. So if this drops straight through there, we'll put a stop here. So calculate your risk like this right now. If we get a flag before that, if this goes and break the top and come back and give us a flag here or a flag here or a flag here, we'll sell one of these flags with a stop above the top. Whichever we get first, right? Euro yen. That was a sell setup. Take it off. It's gone. And take this off. That was a short trade. Enter here. Stop the bottom here. And now we're making a bigger flat. So let's come in the 4 hour. Let's see what we get. Sell setup. We're going for a sell setup again. I'll put a sell setup here. Put the stop above the top. Target the breakthrough of this structure. So this trade would be like this. We will change the trade if it goes higher, but the trade is a sell setup. We're looking for a sell under the low. We're looking for a stop above the top, and we want this to break through. We want that to break through. Whole point is that has to come back to this low. Well, close to the low, not necessarily low. Let's say they're making a flat in the middle there. This would be 1. This would be 3. Let's target this one here. Let's target that equal. So come back into the trade and let's see what the trade would look like. The trade is still valid. Put the entry under the low here. And put the stop above the top. If this goes any higher, if this here goes any higher into this, we'll take it off. As of now, it has to drop right now. Now there's a sharp wave here. You see that? So I'm assuming that's a running flat, and this should drop. If it should drop to the bottom here and start to pull back, we'll close it for breaking. You'll see how we do that. I'll show you how we do that when the trade doesn't go. So right now, I still think it's downside. I don't think we're trying to go any higher. I'm looking at this flat right now here. I'm looking at this flat here. And this could come back to this level. They may go back up, but there's a good chance it's going to break out. There's no need to go back up. So that is a trade we'll be looking for. I don't think we should go through all of this. I'm going to go through really quick and tell you if we have a trade, because if we don't have a trade, we'll take too long with it. Take this off. That one is more of a bigger flat here. Take this off too. It's making a bigger flat. This is the one that you're getting a big flat there for the upside. So take that off and take the lows off. Where we think this could end up? Sideways. I think we're going to go back to the top here. We're going to be sideways here. This might be this one. You might be making something in here. This is pretty sharp, so you could go with 1, 2, 3, and that could go back up. We could still be in this bigger sideways move, but I like the buy setup. Let's see if we get that buy setup. It's not ready. It has to come down some more, and then we'd look for it. So we're looking for a buy setup here. Euro pound. Even if it's going to drop, you probably wouldn't sell it here. But if we get a buy setup, we'll take it. We'll need a flag. Don't buy it without a flag. If we get a flag, we'll buy. So wait for a flag to buy. Pound Oz, I'm going to go really fast. This is the FXCM. They'll go back. Let's find another one. No wonder. I would just do it in no wonder, and then we will come back to what we have. 4 hours. So this is what we have in no wonder. We have this sharp move here and that sharp move down. And there's a very high probability that this should go back up. There's a very high probability that this thing should go back up one more. Because we're looking at this as a possible running flat. If I'm totally wrong about that, then what you would find is that this thing is the first impulse down. Let's assume that this belongs to something here. Let's just go with that premises that the flat is actually in here, right? And not this one. Then you would need a correction here before you drop. So, do we have a correction? No, we don't. That means that I don't expect this to break out anytime soon. What I expect it to do is stay in this range for a longer period of time. Either totally go back up or stay here for a while and then drop. So we would look for buy setups. Now this is going down, no problem. I'm not interested in that sell. I'm waiting for this to go back up and then we buy it. Do we have a sell setup here? If you took that trade, for my traders, if you took that trade with the intentions of breaking this low, if you took this one here, that's a very small trade. Keep it at break even. That is gone now, so we don't have a trade anymore. That was a trade this morning. If you took it, watch it when it comes here because we can go right back up. So that would be a break-even trade. Pound CAD, my traders were in the trading room this morning without me. So let's go to Wanda here too. All those trades, we'll come back to them because we don't see them here on the Wanda platform. I'm not loading it here. It'll take too long. We'll come back to them. 4 hours, we're going sideways. I think you can literally see that. We're in this down one. We made 1, 2, 3. I don't think we have divergence. No, we don't. So this could be a correction for one more down. Go ahead. Let's see if we have a downside. Nope, we're getting a buy setup. You're getting a short buy setup here. Okay, if we get one down, we get one up, we get a flat here, we go there, we come back here, then go. If we're going up, that's most likely what's going to happen. Go to the 15, let's see if we have a buy setup. No, you're definitely not buying this. There is a buy setup here, but you have this move, you have that move, which means this is go up here, come back here, go there. And when you complete all of this, you still have this move, so we'll still come back here. And then we get a buy setup. So we don't really have a trade that is going to give you good risk to reward at the moment than this one. Because this would come here, tag you, and pull right back. Pong in? Yeah, we can buy here. It's going up. It's as long as it keeps going up, you buy. The trade is gone. Yep, it's definitely gone. There was a flat here. Actually, it could be an active trade right now with a lot of caution because you're at the top of the structure, but it's a buy setup. See, you're pretty much at the top of the structure, and at any given time, this thing will start to drop. But as long as you get a buy setup, you can take the trade. So there's a buy setup there. It's an active trade. You can take it with a lot of caution. Right? You're aware that you're at the very top of a structure going up. So if you take this buy, this could be the last impulse that goes up. Right? This was a good buy. These were good buys. Coming from the bottom here, going up are good buys. But as you get to the top and you break the top, every buy becomes a risky trade, so that you know, right? My traders are aware of that. So if they're taking the trade, you know what the risk is. Pound Swiss. And this is FXCM2. Let's go to one to see where we are. It's kind of coming down a little already. We can look for a sell setup. If we get a sell setup from the top there, because I would expect this to come one more down, take that trade off, and take this one off. Let's go to the bigger picture. Go to the 4 hour, and you can see that we are in this structure. I'll have to reconstruct this whole thing for you guys. We're in this one here, and we're making a correction to the upside. This is more of a correction to the upside. See that? So this should come back here and probably even come to the bottom here before they go back up. Right? This is a high probability of what we can get today. So go in the 1 hour. Wait for a sell setup from the top there, and then we're going to go into trade. We don't have a sell setup as yet. We'll wait for a sell setup. So we're waiting here for a sell setup, not the buy. Pound New Zealand, I'm going to go through all of them. Pound New Zealand, you're getting a sell setup here already. Using this. So you have a sell setup here. I think this is a good sell setup. We will watch this. It could probably drop and come back to this low. If you're lucky, it drops through the bottom. So this is a good one. This is a nice sell. We can put this sell. Put this on as a sell setup here. Put a stop above this. And you're targeting, you're going for something like this. A similar move to this one. To the downside. Right? Now, the bigger picture is it can come much more. See this one came much more. Sorry guys. Yeah, my voice is going, just to let you know that if I cough accidentally, excuse me in advance. I do have a slight flu. That is not, it's not a nuisance. It's more of a nuisance. It's not a problem to trade. So we could go for that trade. This could come a lot more. If it tags you and it stays here for a while, when you come back in the New York session, we'll show you how we close the trade. Right? So this is the sell setup. We'll go with that one. Okay, do I need to go through all the CAD pairs, my traders, because then we will take too long. I'll just go through, tell you if there's something we're looking for here, and if we can go, yes. We will look for a buy setup here. This was a buy. If you're in that buy, you need to close it. Wait for it to pull back. We want a buy setup here, but we need it to pull back first. So we don't have any trade. This was the buy from last week. That is over. That's gone. This was a buy from last week. That's over. That's gone. So we're waiting for a buy setup here for now. Aussie Swiss. Okay, this was a sell. This one didn't break through. We were expecting it to break through. They went back to the top. Okay, this one is interesting. We made a new high, so we're going to go with the expanding flat. Most likely, let me see. Yeah, most likely I would go with this one. I'll go with this expanding flat. This one. 1, 2, 3. We're at the top. We're looking for a sell setup. I don't care that it's at the top there. See, this structure is a flat structure, so we're expecting this to come back here one more. Let's wait for a sell setup here. Maybe the same thing on the Aussie CAD. We'll come back to that later. Aussie yen. Okay, this also we were expecting to come back down, but it's not coming as yet. Let's see the bigger picture. Okay, this one has gone a little higher. We got this move up, but it's going much more than we expected. So we'll have to see when it gets to the top there. There is no buy setup. See, there's no buy setup. It's gone already. Even if you wanted to buy it, you'll have to buy it above this top with a lot of caution, so be careful. We're in this thing stretching more. It has to make pullback. If we're going to buy it, let it pull back like this. And then we're going to buy. If it's going to be a sell, let it drop, make a flag, and then we sell. So right now, there is no trade. There's no reason to jump in the top there. Aussie, New Zealand. This is upside. This should break the top. I think this one here, this was a buy. Take this off. That's gone much further. We're expecting it to break this top here. And then we'll start to look for the reversal. I'll show you the pattern. It's a bigger 4-hour pattern. That is this one here. Kind of a 1, 2, 3, break that up, and then there's a reversal. The bigger structure also is downside. See, even if you're making this one, that is 1, 2, 3, break the top slightly, and then come down back. I don't think we're making that, and I still think we're making this one. So we'll see. There are two options, and all two of the options are showing you wait for this to break the tops and then downside. So buying it there doesn't make a lot of sense. New Zealand CAD. Okay, this is the one we are in. I'm already in this trade, and we're getting another buy setup. So there are like a number of trades. This was a trade that, well, I was already in the trade, so I didn't take this one on Friday. For my traders, if you took that one, you may want to take out profit when it comes to the top and look for another entry at the top. I showed this pattern, and I told, if you were following us, if you were following me with last week webinar or so, I told you why we are buying this and what we would do with it. So the entire group, my entire group is tracking this one. So we're all trading it, and when it gets to the top here in a month, it should be there in a month time, which is at the end of June, mid-July. We should expect this to get to the top there if it goes. Right? And when it goes, what we do is we're going to do an analysis of all the trades every trader take and how they went. So we're going to end up to see what results we get, right? And then we're going to see what we do with that from there, right? So let's see. Euro USD climbing upwards. When you say climb upwards, what do you mean? Let's go take a look. Yep, it's going up. If it gets above the top, we'll take off this trade. So once it gets to about this level here, we'll take off the trade, this sell. I'm not interested in that buy. And like I said, I'm not interested in that buy in this thing. It could go, it will probably even break the top. But I don't have a buy setup. So we'll take this off if it breaks the top. It's coming out of this. As of now, it's still valid for the drop. But if it breaks out of this, we'll take it off. It's already pretty high. It might break the top. For me, once they break this top here, we're at this one, right? So once they break that top, I'll look for a sell setup again. If it's gonna go anywhere above all these tops, I want to see a correction here before I buy. So we'll see. It went up a little. I don't have a trade to go there, so I can't buy it to that space. I'll see if I get the sell. If I don't get the sell and it goes without me, I'm not in the trade. I'm trying to get this move to the downside here. Let's see if we get it. So that's not a big movement. In the big picture of things, that's not anything, right? If you're trying to catch moves like that in here, you can see what will happen to you every time. Every time it drops, you try to sell it. See this? And every time these little bits are going up back like that, you're trying to buy it, you'll see what happens. Right? So we are waiting for the entire structure to show us a pattern. These moves are that big move is much bigger than what you're getting right now. But it's not a trade setup. If you understand what trade setups are, then that's not one, because then you'll get yourself in trouble. Anyway, let's go back where we were. We were in the New Zealand CAD. So in the New Zealand CAD, this is the trade. From here to the top there, and I'm in one trade. 3 trades close for positive, and I'm in one. So I'm in the one from this point here. This one going up. This one I didn't take it because I was already in this one. This one I closed, and I'm looking for another trade to buy here. We're making a big consolidation here. I don't like when they make so big consolidation. So when this comes back to the top here, if I think it's not going to go and we have one more down here, I might as well take the profit off and then wait for it to come back here and then buy with an entry above the top. So we'll show you how we do that as well, right? Right now it's just consolidating. We will wait for the buy setup. There is no buy setup in it right now. It's just consolidating. We also don't have any sell. As soon as we break out of this structure, I think we're going. It will move really fast. New Zealand yen. Yep, that was a buy setup. You could have bought it from much lower. But if you're in that trade, good. There was another buy setup here this morning. There's another buy setup here this morning. If you're in that trade, you'll keep an eye on it when it now that they break the top. If they want to come back for a deeper correction, it's possible. If they want to go, that's the trade. So this would be a buy setup. It's gone already. The buy is gone. You can't jump in the trade. Bigger picture is downside. By the way, this is 1, 2, 3. We almost complete that. This can go higher. It can even come above this stop, right? But if you're looking at the structure like this, the way we look at it, see this? There is a good chance this might come back here before breaking the top. So it can go break the top, which means this can work its way up, and that's why we're buying. Come back here and then go again and then come back here. Makes this a much, much long drawn out correction. Or at any point in time, they can drop like this. So what we're looking for is when that top is made. Right now, you don't have a top. You're just going. So we don't know if that's the top. This would have been a buy setup this morning. I think my trader should be in that trade. If you're in the Asian session and you took that trade, you just have to be cautious now that the top is broken. Right? Because if they're going to turn, this is where they're going to turn from. New Zealand Swiss. The buy setup was from here for the up move. That's a good one. We're getting another buy setup here. Right? You're getting another buy setup here. I think this could be a trade right now, an active trade. So, wrong one. This could be an active trade. Put an entry above the top. It's a small trade, so you wouldn't want to keep a big stop on it. You want to keep a really small stop. Let's see in the 15 what we can do. Yeah, you can put an entry above the stop here. You don't want to put a stop here. That's way too far. So you want to put a stop slightly lower than this. In the case that they tag and they come back and they do this to go, you want to stay away from that somewhat. So a stop somewhere here for the target above. It's a buy setup. Right? We're looking for this one to come here and maybe even out of this structure. Right? You're expecting it to come back, not out of the structure. It's just probably going to come here and then go back down because we didn't break the low. So this would be a 1, 2, 3. I move back to the top and then come back here. So there's a trade here. We'll see how far that goes. That's a nice 1 hour flag, so it's a very good trade. We can put it as a 1-to-1 trade because I'm not sure it's going to go very far. Let's put it as a 1-to-1 trade and then we'll see long position. Entry order. Stop just about 15-20 pips below that. Target the top there. So it's just like probably less than a 2-to-1 trade. Something like that. I'd go with something like that. Let's see how that goes. So this would be a buy setup. Canadian. Nothing here, wait. Because this has too sharp pullback. It's going to consolidate more and then go. CAD Swiss. Take this off. We're consolidating in the middle. Leave it alone. We'll come back to that. Swiss yen. It has to go back. They're not coming down as yet. See, this is going up, so they'll probably make a new high here. One second, guys. Like I said, I'll be coughing every now and then. This one broke the top. Take that off. The downside is not ready. We're not interested in the buy here. We're interested in the sell. But we don't have the sell set up as yet. If this is going to drop from here, let me see if it looks like that could possibly drop. It's a deep pullback. I don't like the deep pullback. It possibly could drop, but let's wait to see. Let it come down. Let's get a flag in there. Natural gas. Look for a buy setup. Go for a buy setup here. One more impulse up. If this is coming down, you can't sell it until we break out of the structure and make a flag here. But if they take off like this, you'll break the top. So there's a buy setup to get there. You can put this as an active buy. US oil, we broke the top, take this off, they came down all the way to the bottom. That was this sell. We were waiting for this buy actually to happen, and then they came to the bottom. So you're going to get a running flat or a contracting. This could be a small flat here as all the correction. Take it off. Or we're making an expanding flat. We don't have a trade. We need a flag here if we're going to sell. And UK oil. Same thing. You don't have a trade. You need a flag if you're going to sell. This would be a break-even trade. You were there for like 10 hours. Not say how many hours. Yeah, you're there for like that's a lot of hours. Get the hell out of the trade. By rule, you shouldn't be in that trade, and it still looks corrective, right? This could still go back up, so we'll wait. We're in this big sideways, and it should actually drop, but we need a flag for that to happen. S&P 500. Okay, we have to put this on something else. Let's see if Rwanda has that. The same charts? Nope, I think this is a different chart. Is it the same chart? Let me see. I just want to see. Let's see the top one. I am not sure these two are the same thing, but we'll see. I have to redo these charts because I'm not sure we're getting the same thing like we had in the previous one. But if this is the same chart, then it's more upside. We're at the top of this structure here. So we're at the very top of it. This was the flat. This would have to come back. I'm not sure if these charts are the one we use or these are the real one. This has to come back here, and then we look for a buy setup. So what I'm going to do is we'll come back to these charts later, because this is more of a sell setup here now. See, this here would have to come back down one more and then go back up. So it will be a buy, but you want this to pull back first. You want this to pull back here, and then we'll go for a buy setup. If we get the pullback, we'll go for the buy setup. If we don't get a pullback, we'll just ignore it. Let's see. NASDAQ. Same here. NASDAQ, we're kind of in this whole big thing here. We let it pull back, and then we look for the buy. This was the sell. Take that off. This one didn't go anywhere. Take that off. That didn't go. We were just waiting for the upside. So we'll wait for this to make a flat here, and then we'll go for the buy. Let it make a small flag there. This comes here, make a small flag. Come on. Like this, pull back here, and then we'll go with this one for the upside. Put an entry above the top, put a stop here, and go for that trade. US is 30. Okay, this has to pull back too, because we have this sharp one here and we never got to pull back, right? So this sharp one here needs to pull back at some point before we go. Any upside, you need that pullback. So come here, let's see if we're going to get a pullback today. Nope, you're not getting that as yet. We're still in the correction, and it's still more upside. Which means this one comes here first, go back up, and then we look for this move down. And then the upside. So we might get a short-term buy this afternoon. Nifty. Okay, if you get a flag here for upside, you can buy. I think we've just got ourselves a flat here, and that needs to go up and break the top. So we just got a flat, and that should go up and break the top. DAX, that's a good buy setup. I hope you got the trade. Perfect trade. Now, where would that take us? Let's see, it can go more. It might still go a little more. We're in this big correction here. I think we'll change it to this one, and this one might be a small flat of its own there. So it's upside, wait for another flag, we buy again. These were the sell setups, take them off. Take this one off. We were going step by step on that one, and take this one off. That is just breaking the top. So we'll wait for another buy setup here. Let's go Tesla. keep buying, wait for flags, buy. Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now is sideways, downside, right? See this one here? This is gonna go sideways and downside. Let me see what it looks like inside of the structure. Yeah, 1, 2, this one went up, came back, you get this, you're coming back, you probably go back and then drop. So this is gonna come here, you might go back up there, make a flat there, and then drop one more. So wait for the 1 hour, that is a sideways move for downside. What's the big picture? We still have this sharp one. After we finish all of this, we still have this sharp one to do. And then come back down here. And then maybe the upside. Because this is a big sideways move right now, right? This whole thing is a big sideways move. And a sideways move like that, if you follow this one, right? You came in this way, you came out that way. So we came in this way, and if we follow this doing that, at some point you go that way. So every time we break the low, we look for buy setups. We haven't broken the low. See, the low is not broken. But every time we break the low, you need to break this low again. We start looking for buy setups. If you get the buy setups, you take the trade. If you don't get the buy setups, then you just stay away from it. Ethereum, same thing. Downside, this was a sell setup here. You can see that is a sell setup for downside. We're coming here. It's already going. There's another sell setup here. It's very short. It's not moving fast. And it's in this structure. So when it comes to this level here, two things are going to happen. It's either going to break through, come here, or it's going to go back up. So you can wait for it to go there, or you can sell it to that level if you want, and then from there we start trading. Right? Let's go. Very quick. XRP. I will do 10 cryptos. These are the top 10 cryptos our traders voted for, which means the 10 top crypto they want me to do. Right? Then we chose the 10 top. So these are the 10 top cryptos we'll do every day. This is a buy setup, short-term buy setup you're getting there, right? So you notice we wanted it to drop here. It dropped. We got 1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3. It could still come back down, but then it's going to go up. We're in this sideways move for one more up, right? This could come back here, but then it's still upside. I don't think we're dropping anywhere as yet. And let's see. ADA. Oh, we might get a buy setup now. We broke the low. Perfect. So the idea was to drop and break the low. See? That was a sell setup to come and break the low. Well, you just broke the low. Guess what you need? You need a flag here. Go to the 1 hour. If you get a flag there, that's a buy setup. That's a perfect buy setup. You want this to consolidate here, and then you're going with the buy. Will it go? I don't know. I don't care. That's a trade setup, right? When you get the trade setup, you take the trade and you wait to see whether it goes. If it doesn't go, then we'll try to get rid of it. But this is a great place to buy, because what we wanted it to break the low, and once you break that low, you're expecting them to reverse. That's the low of it, right? This is it coming down, and you made a new low here. Every time you made a new low, you get a pullback. So is this the start of that pullback? Well, let's see. We just complete this flat. We just complete that flat. So making a new low means you could literally start a big move to the upside, or you start a new correction, a new bigger correction. This one is very interesting. So we wait here for the, it's making a running flat, by the way. Let's go back and look at this flat. I think we just made a running flat, or we're making a running flat here. We're kind of making a running flat. This is a sharp one. These are just corrections. So you got an up move, you got a correction, you got an up move, you got a correction, you got an up move. You want it to drop back here. Complete this, and then that is upside. Here's the thing. If you want to buy here and keep a stop under the low, no big deal. Right? This is a possibility. So you can, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know whether it's going to give you a long drawn out running flat, but that's the point. The point is we're looking for buy setups now. I would like it to pull back here and then we get the buy. That would be amazing. I don't think this is the running flat, or that's a contracting flat. I'm not going with a contracting flat like this. And I don't think that's a contracting flat. I think we'll get a running flat like this. Go there, come back here, and then go. Let's see. We'll see which one we get. The entry is you can buy it right now if you want, basically. If I had to buy, I'll buy right now. I probably wouldn't wait. The difference is not much. I am very confident this is going to have one more impulse to the upside. If not, we'll manage the trade. So those are the ones we have. We have 3 more. I'll do these 4 more we have. Let's see. LTC. This is more downside. This has to drop and break this low. Let's go to this one. This is downside. You can actually see this is forming this downside. And the 1 hour that will still be downside. Right, so in the 1 hour, this one is coming down too. We broke this low already. Yep, that means this could turn anytime. Yep, this one could turn to the upside anytime. Wait to see if it gets a 1 hour consolidation there, and then we'll buy. On the short term, it's downside, but if they want to go up, we'll wait to see whether we get a bigger consolidation here for upside. I actually like the upside more. I don't like the short term downside. Let it come down a little more and start going up, we buy it. And this one, BNB. This is dropping. Have we broken the low? Not as yet. We're about to break that low, and then we're going to go up. So these were sells to break the low. See, structurally they have to come and break this low, and then it can go back. We might even break this low before we go back up. So this might even come here and break this low, and then you start that up move. We're going for this one after that, right? We're going for this, and then we'll come back here. So this is going to be like a 1, 2, 3. Come back here for this, and then probably go up then. The explosive takeoff will be when they come back the next time to the bottom here. And Dodge, this is the last one of the 10 that we're doing. Yeah, this one needs to come and break this low, and then we will start to look for it. So this one, when it was at the top there, we said come break this low, and then look. Well, we're at the low here now, see? We're looking for this move. The move you're looking for is actually this move up. See this here? So this was the lowest point. You got to move up, you got to pull back. Or if this was the lowest point, you got that sharp one. So at this point, we're going to get this one. Make that flat, and then probably come back here and then go. But this is the move you can get. So on this one, you want to go look at the 1 hour. Let's see if we get any setup for a buy. Yep, you might be getting a buy setup right here. If this wick is real, that's a buy setup. So you guys decide, check if the wick is real. If the wick is real, then that's a buy setup. So we're going to do recap now. We're going to stop here. We had too many pairs. I'm not going to look at any more pairs right now. We're going to look at more pairs this afternoon if you join us in the Asian session, and in the New York session, sorry. We're gonna show you more. We're gonna take some more questions and charts. I can take some questions here now, but not more charts. Too many. Right? So let's go recap what we have. We're gonna start to recap what we have here. Sorry, sell setup. Where is it? Yeah, this was a sell setup, an active sell setup. Let's see what happens. It's still valid. Nothing's wrong with this as yet. So as of now, this still is a valid active sell setup. See? It's still consolidating, and as long as it keeps consolidating, the more it consolidates, the more it's a valid active sell setup. Let's see with this one. Okay, we're at the top there now. We're where we wanted it to be, right at the top there. So if it starts to come down, we would look for a sell setup. We don't have a sell setup, we look for a sell setup. Euro, it's at the top now. So at this point, it has to either break out or start dropping. If it starts dropping, we're no longer going to sell it here. So I'll take this off. If it starts to drop, we're going to sell it on the way down here to come back, right? Because now they might just come here and then go up. If it's going to break out of this, I'm not buying here. I need it to break out and make a flag, and then I'll buy it. Now, the reason for that is because of where we are on the bigger top. Right? See where we are on this bigger top? It can go. Right now, it's more upside than downside. But because of this structure that we are in that is doing this, even if you break that top, the chances you break the top and you come right back here. And we will still be in this flat. So if it breaks the top, I want it to make a flag here to show me that there's a continuation. And then I will go with it. If it makes a flag right where it is, we will buy it still this afternoon. But that's about 4 hours from now. If it just breaks out and go, well, good luck. I am not in it. Now, can it go up from this point totally to the upside? Remember, we looked at this. Yeah, you could make an argument that this is all. This here is all the flat. That's a perfect running flat, and this thing is going to take off like a rocket right now. You can expect a move like this going up from here. But I want to see, you see this flat here? I want to see exactly that in here. which we don't have. We have one piece. This has a move down, a move up, and a move down. When you come here in the 1 hour, we have a move down. This is the first impulse. This is the first impulse. We have a move down, we have a move up, and we don't have a move down. So even if this goes up a little more, let it make the move down, and then we get that flat, and now I'm buying. Buying it from here. But buying it to the top there is, I don't know how far this goes before you get that move down. Like I said, give me a flag, and I'll take the trade. The flag is a security that you're going to go towards break even. Trying to buy this one might get you in trouble. Here's what I normally do. I don't buy the euro. I buy a euro pair. Show me a euro pair that has an upside that I think will be the euro move. So if euro is going to move and I don't like the trade itself, I go to the euro pairs. Let's start with the euro Aus. Do I have a buy setup in the euro Aus? Yes, I do. Remember we spoke about this here and the possibility of this going back up. Making a 1, 2, 3, go back up and then come back down and then continue to go. So if I think euro is going to make a really huge move up and the possibility of this taking a good move to the upside is going to happen, this is what I'll do. Remember I told you there's a channel forming here. Let it break out. Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Let it break out of the channel and make a flag, and then I'll go with the buy. If not, this thing consolidates here. Then this becomes a sell. Not a buy. It becomes a sell. So breakout, go. What if it takes off like a rocket? Put your entry order for the buy. EuroCAD. Nope, we've got a sell setup here. See? This is not giving me a buy setup. This is also giving me a sell setup. That says you can go one more down. So you can take this out. You can take this out. What this is telling me is that this is going to go one more down before it goes back up. So this here is going to drop. This looks like it can drop one more here and then go. We're expecting this move up. But it can drop here first before it goes. So if I'm going to buy this, I'm not buying into this flat here because that doesn't make sense. This is from where it can drop. I can put an entry order above this top and say, well, if I'm wrong and they're breaking out totally, let's say this is a flat here for upside. Let's put this one. Let's say this flat is for upside, like 1, 2, 3, but not 1, 2, 3 for downside, but 1, 2, 3 for upside. You can't buy here because this is where they can tag you. This is exactly where it can tag you. Drop here, take you out of the trade, and then go back up. And I think this has happened to many of you because you have no idea how it works, right? So I'm going to say, if this is going to go up, prove to me you're going to go by two-way. Break through this, go like that, or make a flag here and give me that trade to the upside. Makes a flag, we buy it this afternoon. Break through the top, you can put an entry order here. So yes, this is showing me upside. Wait for the flag to buy. So put a wait for the flag to buy. Short term, this is showing you downside to come back to this low. You're in New Zealand? We have a sell setup. We don't even have a buy setup here. So this is a sell. This is an active sell setup you can go with. Euro yen. Okay, this might break the take off this one. Take off that trade. Guess it's back at the top. But I'm not looking for a buy at the bottom, at the top there. Right? I don't want to buy into this structure. See, this is a correction. I'm not buying into that top of a correction like this. So what it's going to do? Let it break the top and then give me a sell setup. Would I be able to put all of this as some huge corrective structure in this piece here? Maybe. Yeah. I'm still not buying the top of it because it doesn't make sense. How many times you got tagged at the top and then watch it drop the opposite direction? That's because you don't know where the top is. So we're not buying the top of this. Go break the top, make a correction, and then we'll buy again. Once it breaks the top and it starts to give a sell setup, I'm in that trade to the downside. So I'm waiting for this to break the top, give me a sell setup, and then we're in the trade to the downside. Euro Swiss. Yep, it's a buy setup. It's going up. You can take this trade. There's a small contracting flat in here that I don't like. It's going back to this top, right? We're in a big flat, so you can take this out. You can take this out. And you can make an assumption. What if this was all the flat? What if this here was the flat? 1, 2, 3. This could probably drop, right? We don't have a sell setup. This is not a sell setup, and it's also not a buy setup. You can buy this if you want. Not the best buy, because you're inside of this move, and all they can do is break that up and start dropping. And when it starts to drop, we will get a sell setup. Now, I don't know that that is all the correction. So I'm going to put it like this and go back to the 1 hour and wait for a trade setup, right? I would wait for this to see whether this is going to take off or whether it's just going to, stay here and drop one more. Now, what would be the trade? Above the top, give me a flag. Within that structure, there is no risk to reward on the trade. Now, here's the thing. Traders say, well, you said, look, you're not buying this, and look, it take off. Well, good for you. Are you buying it? Where it is right now, are you buying it? Nope. Hindsight, you probably would want to be a buyer if it goes high. But hindsight, you might take a loss, and you might say, thank God you're not in that trade. Right? Hindsight trading is always perfect. If you go on YouTube, you will see how many hindsight traders there are. Gurus, a lot of hindsight gurus, who would come and show you, hey, look, I took this trade and it's amazing. But they will never come and say, hey, I'm taking this trade now. And here is the setup. Not, I took it, not I'm taking it. They're all hindsight traders. We don't do that. We trade. You can't trade backwards. You have to trade forwards, right? You trade forecast. So the forecast for me is that this is going up. This piece is going up. But I don't know how far it's going to go into this move. Because I can't say that this is the flat. Neither I can say that this is this is the flat. 1, 2, 3, that could be the flat, or 1, 2, 3, this could be the flat. And because it's the flat that's forming here, this could drop right now. So for me, that cannot be a buy setup. Trade something else. Simple. Euro pound. This would be a buy. Remember I said we're not selling Euro pound here this morning? I want you to look back at this. Before this happened, you had a flag here. It was looking more like a flag. And I said, no, we're not selling it here. There is no point selling it at the bottom of that line. What we want is this move up. See this move here? This is the move up we want. So how are we going to get that move? Let it go here. And you see they made a flat there. We bought that. So what are we going to do? We're going to let it do this. And we're going to buy this. Simple. That is as simple as it gets. And then we're going to take this move. And if we're lucky, and there's a contracting flat in here, this thing is going to take off like a rocket to the upside. See this? If we're lucky and there is a contracting flat in here, let's say like this, for example. Let's say that is a contracting flat. This thing is going to go way back to the top. You will get a move like that. See that move to the top there? You want this little flag here, and that is the move. So let's get a little flag here, and then we're going to go for that move. I'm not forecasting that move as yet. Maybe after we completed this one. So for now, this is the move I'm looking at. Something like this, which is an equivalent of this one. Because I don't think we have a contracting flat in there. So I'm looking for this move up, which would be a perfect trade as soon as I get a flag here. See? So give me a flag, we're in a trade. No flag, no trade. That's it. Okay, guys, I think that's enough for there. We've gone through. This is another active trade we have. Let's see what's happening to this. It's still an active sell. Maybe you could even get more aggressive in the entry, but this is still an active sell. Let's wait for this. We don't have, this is an active buy. Yep, you should be tagged in this trade already if you're in this trade. Let's see. Yep, this could have tagged you, and we'll wait to see. Remember, keeping your stop a little away from it, because if this doesn't go, we'll take off that trade early. We'll let you know what we do with that trade when we come back in the New York session. We may have a session in our trading room. If anything is happening, I'll try to update you on it. And this is an active trade. This one should be from here. I like the buy setup from there, yeah. I like that buy setup. So that one is not tagged. So one trade tagged you, the rest of them are still active trades. Any trade setups on what we look at, you guys want me to look at that I missed? My traders, anything we missed? Normally when we're in the trading room, I would show the trades that we're looking for. My traders would tell me what chart has an active trade in it. And then we would look at those, right? Bitcoin in 2 words. I think I did Bitcoin in like a whole half an hour, not just 2 words, right? Oh, you missed it. Well, try coming early tomorrow, because if you keep missing it, we wouldn't be able to repeat everything that everybody missed, right? I'm not I'm just telling you, right? So Bitcoin right now is sideways. It's going to go back up. I think this one should come here, but then we're looking for a drop. We're looking for a drop from there, and then once it breaks the low, possibilities it can go back up. You're in this big sideways move, see? So I think this little flat here forming here would probably do this, come back here. We might even go back up for this one, and then drop one more, and then probably upside. At some point, all of this goes up. There is a series of sharp moves here, but I think we would relook at them because there is, like, you know, a lot of them in it. So this looks very much upside, but it have to keep come back and break the low, and then we'll go from there. Punkad, let's see. Punkad has a trade in it. We don't have anything in the Punkad. This is an old trade from last week. Take that off. That's a break-even trade. It's making a flat, by the way. Yeah, did I miss it? It's making a flat here. We'll just let the flat complete, and then we can go for the buy. You're making a flat in here. It's incomplete, so it'll take a while more, and then it stays, and then we'll look for the buy setup. Definitely a buy setup. Let's see what the bigger picture is. Yeah, bigger pictures, they can break out of this structure. We could be looking for a move like this to the upside. So yeah, we'll go with the buy. Let's keep that buy going. Yeah, for those of you who missed anything, and by the way, you can share the link with anybody, and please invite your friends over this afternoon. Let's have fun. This afternoon we'll have a longer session. We'll take more questions. Right? You're all welcome, and please share it. Please invite more traders. Let's come, especially those who don't think you can make forecasts using wave analysis. I love to see them here because I'll take questions and I'll show you how it works. So thank you for coming. You have the trade setups. Join us this afternoon to know what we did with those trades and what we're going to be trading next. See all of you this afternoon. Take care. And thank you very much for coming. Don't forget to invite a friend and share the links, right? Okay, Vic, I'll just close it off now. I don't know how long I have to wait before my message gets to you guys before I close it. I'll wait for like 30 seconds. All right, I'll leave it open for like 30 seconds. Thanks for coming, guys.